Welcome, welcome. Come on in to my library here in the clouds. I'm so glad you could make it. Today, we're going to peek inside the grimoire and explore some really useful word spells for navigating the world out there. Ready to begin? You know, every journey has its own story, right? And every single one of those stories is built with words. So think of these new words as little magical spells. They're going to help you describe your own adventures and, of course, understand the tales of others. Let's get started. All right, our first chapter is all about what I call healing words. Because let's face it, even the most careful traveler can have a little stumble now and then. These words will help you explain what happened and how to make it all better. Okay, our first word spell is a simple one, but it's really important. Wound. So, what is a wound? It's just a specific kind of injury where the skin is actually cut or broken. You know, it could be from a sharp rock on a path or even just a clumsy moment in the kitchen. And here's how you might use it in a sentence. See, it's a super direct way to explain what happened. And covering it, well, that's the very first step in our healing spell. And this, right here, this is the real magic of healing. Following these simple steps helps stop something called an infection, which is basically when a wound gets worse instead of better. So what's the most important part? You got it. Keep it clean and keep it covered. Ready for some more advanced healing words? Okay, swollen is when a part of your body gets bigger after an injury. Bruised, that's when you get that blue or purple mark on your skin. If you feel dizzy and fall, you might faint. That's when you lose consciousness for just a little bit. And unconscious means you're not awake or aware, maybe for a longer time after a more serious fall. Now, let's put these words together and see how they can tell a story. In this sentence, you can almost feel what the person was going through, the pain, the shock. And notice how swollen and bruised can happen even without cut or any bleeding. That's a really important difference to remember. So, now that we've learned spells for healing ourselves, let's learn how to guide those modern-day carriages we use for our journeys. Cars. Yup, these word spells are absolutely essential for anyone traveling on the road. Every single driver has to master two opposite spells. Accelerate, which means to go faster, and brake, to slow down or stop completely. One makes the world rush by, and the other brings it to a halt. It's all about balance. Okay, these words here are what control the carriage. You use the steering wheel to choose your path. You overtake to pass another traveler. Reverse is for going backward. A skid is a scary slide you definitely want to avoid. And the speed limit, well, that's the magical rule for how fast you're allowed to go. Now, this is some really wise advice. Being gentle with that steering wheel helps you stay in control, and watching out for others just means being aware and careful of everyone else on the road with you. And here it is, a golden rule that can prevent so much trouble. Driving too close to the car in front of you is one of the biggest dangers out there. You always have to leave enough space to stop safely. This might just be the most important spell of them all. But you know, sometimes, even with the best magic, journeys get paused. So our final chapter is all about the words you need to describe when things go wrong on the path. Ah yes, the dreaded traffic jam. This is that super frustrating situation where all the carriages on the road are just stuck, totally unable to move forward. It's a real test of any traveler's patience, that's for sure. Wow, you can really hear the emotion in this sentence, can't you? Using a word like nightmare tells you exactly how awful it was. And a heavy traffic jam, that just means it was really, really bad. Accidents like this often happen in a sequence, like a story. So first, the van lost control and skidded. Then it collided with or hit another vehicle. Next, this accident blocked the road, which probably caused a traffic jam. And finally, the authorities told other drivers to avoid the area. Understanding the sequence helps you understand the whole story. Of course, there are other kinds of trouble. A train or a flight might be canceled, gone. Or maybe it's just delayed, which means it's going to be late. A warning tells you about some possible danger up ahead. And if your carriage just stops working, we say it broke down. You have listened so well. But now comes the most important part of any spell, practice. It's your turn to speak and bring these words to life. You ready? I know you are. Okay, for your first challenge, take a look at this. A bandage is a big clue. What healing word from chapter 1 could you use to describe what might be under it? You could say something like, they have a wound on their arm. Perfect! Well done! Next up, a scene from the road. What wise advice would you give this driver using the words we've learned? A great answer would be something like, don't drive so close. You might need to brake suddenly. Excellent. And for our last challenge, this very frustrating scene. What word spell from our final chapter perfectly describes this? I bet you know it. That's right, it's a traffic jam. Fantastic. You've learned to speak about healing, about guiding a journey, and even about the troubles you might find along the way. You should be so proud of yourself. You've just added some powerful new magic to your vocabulary. Always remember, every spell gets stronger the more you practice it. So, as you go about your day, think about which of these new words you can use. The more you use them, the stronger your word magic will become. Until next time, keep seeking words.